Now let's take the conversation forward. Naveen, let's talk about the valuations here. This deal values Reliance Jio platform north of 40,000 crore. In your assessment, will markets be surprised or delighted with this valuation? Because everybody knew this deal was coming. Now it was a matter of structure and the valuation.
So the valuations, if you look at it, if I were to look at it from the current market price perspective also, so this valuation is around 15% higher than what the current market price is ascribing to Geo, right? And of course, the market has come down from the challenges because of COVID and all. So that's one aspect. Second is in the initial commentary also, whatever we could, I would say, glean from the talks. So the valuations were expected to be in the range of around 60 to 65 odd billion dollars as enterprise value. So the valuation is a little higher, but it's not a big surprise. So it was expected to be roundabout in this range. But at this point in time, getting a big big deal done is a great achievement, right? So that's the way to look at it, probably. And also considering the cash infusion which comes in, does make Geo quite strong in the Indian market, right? So those are the two aspects to it.
Could it be a case of buy on rumors and sell on news for Reliance? Because if everyone knew this deal was coming, and if valuation is something in your assessment, the upside on the valuation front is okay, not great. Do you think this deal could lead to short-term profit taking in the Reliance stock?
See, from a perspective of, let's say, what is the largest value contributor to Reliance Industries right now, it is Reliance Jio, right? So with the post-money value of close to 5 lakh crore kind of an enterprise value of Reliance Jio, right? So Jio will be the largest value contributor to Reliance Industries, and it's one of the safer business in the overall scheme of things, considering telecom is going to be lesser impacted than many other businesses. So from that perspective, if I were to look at what Reliance offers at this point in time, is to a certain degree safety. So purely from, so there can be short-term challenges. I'm not disputing that. But if you ask me whether it is a sell on news, then I would say that I would tend to disagree a little bit, because at this point in time, having cash flows coming in, plus the businesses which are relatively safer in nature, I think might get even further re-rated, right? So I think Reliance, from a long-term perspective, stands to gain. So I think this is a great deal, and I don't see that there is a big sell-off happening in Reliance post this announcement.
So let's understand the model of Reliance. I'll split it into new economy and old economy. New economy has digital and retail. Old economy is refining and petrochemical. When oil prices have collapsed the way they have, what will happen to the refining business? What will happen to petrochemical demand? We don't know. Traditionally, these were the propellers for Reliance. So, whereas one side the Jio deal with Facebook is great, on the other side there is going to be a drag which will happen because of oil prices. Where do you think the balance would emerge for Reliance?
See, that's what if you look at, let's say, the current value for Reliance Industries at, let's say, the yesterday's closing at around 1250 rupees, and if I were to look at what the value that Jio is offering, right? So from that perspective, the bulk of the value, more than 50% of the value, is coming from Jio. Then you have retail business, right, which will be under stress right now, but from a long-term perspective, that's also a good business, right? In the petrochemical business is a conversion business, right? There can be challenges with regards to demand, but if you look at it, it's still a conversion kind of a business, right? So from that perspective, it's not going to be impacted. I would say that because of the fall in crude oil prices. Crude oil prices fall by 50%, not necessarily the profits for petrochemical business or the margins for petrochemical business are going to fall by 50% because Reliance is primarily a converter, right? So the upstream business is not a very, very significant business for Reliance. So from that perspective, it is relatively insulated from the major challenges. But of course, the macro demand going down will impact everything. There is no doubt about that, right? But I would still believe that if I were to look at it from a regular company which is into oil exploration, they would be much more impacted than somebody like Reliance Industries, who have a smaller component of that and much larger components which have now emerged, and the business is fairly well diversified, right? It's more a B2C business, consumer-facing business, right? Demand can be a challenge, but to some extent, a large part of that demand is quite resilient.
Right. Naveen, but you're not revising your price targets on Reliance post this FB deal, are you?
See, this is still a 10% stake, so from that perspective, there will not be major revisions, right? So the value is around 15% higher than what what we were ascribing to Reliance Jio per se. So the material impact on the overall value will not be very significant, right? So we will look at it as the deal happens. Then probably we'll take a broader call in terms of what plans and how the synergies between the two companies will pan out and how the strategic framework will evolve. But at this point in time, just based on the deal, the material impact on the target price is not very, very significant, is what I would say.
Okay, Naveen, good to have you on the show and analyze Geo adding FB as a friend.